Greetings, travelers. I'm your host, the C-Dot that knows a lot, Dr. Waluigi. One of the many types of horror movies that doesn't seem to get a lot of respect or admiration is the kaiju genre. Many of these movies have gone on to be considered classics by many fans and have garnered fame in the world of horror. However, there are a few movies and monsters that don't seem to get a lot of attention at all, which is why today I want to take a look at one such monster that could have had the potential to be among some of the great kaijus. This is my review of the kaiju movie, Varan the Unbelievable. The movie began production in 1957 after the American company ABPT approached Toho into making a co-production movie for Japanese and American television. This meant that this would have been one of Toho's lowest budgeted films, as it was only intended for a straight-to-television release. However, things went sour fast as ABPT had gone bankrupt, which meant that Toho had to cut corners so that they could release the movie to theaters in Japan in October of 1958. The movie would see an American release in 1962, but much like Toho's other movies, it was edited down and focused on an American character. This was done because American producers believed that American audiences wouldn't watch a movie that starred non-American actors, which, if you think about it, is still prominent in our current media. Sadly, the movie wasn't liked by critics or audiences. Even the director, Ishiro Honda, has stated that this is his least favorite movie that he's made and has wished he had more time to work on the film. And after seeing this movie, I can definitely agree that this movie needed some improvement. The movie follows a group of scientists that discover a rare breed of butterfly in the mountains that are called the Tibet of Japan. However, after two more of the researchers are found dead, more of their group goes looking for the reason why they died, which leads them to discovering a village that prays to a monster hiding in the lake called Baradagi, which the scientists call Varan, which leads to the scientists causing Varan to leave the lake and go on a rampage. Can the scientists stop Varan's rampage and save all of Japan, or will Varan destroy all of Japan? Because this was Toho's fourth kaiju movie, a lot of the cast are returning actors from their previous movies Godzilla and Rodan. However, I feel that this movie has one of the weaker characters mostly because of the way these characters are written. Especially considering that this movie came out 4 years after the original Godzilla, which is still one of my all-time favorite monster movies because it focused on the dark themes of how the Japanese were affected by the dropping of the atomic bombs. While this movie focuses on scientists being stupid, which I'll get into in my negatives portion of the video, but for now I will say that because of how bad the writing is, it makes the characters seem dumb and annoying, especially the scientists of the movie who seem to keep making the situation of a giant monster destroying Tokyo worse. I think that most of the positives of the movie do have to go to the suit work and the design of the monster Varan. From what I was able to find, the makers of this movie did want to give Varan a unique look compared to creatures like Rodan and Godzilla by combining 3 traits, which were that he had to be a large spiked flying water-based creature. So they made Varan a giant prehistoric monster that could glide like a flying squirrel by having him spread his arms and reveal skin-like wings for him to fly with. While this isn't something new compared to the other monsters that Toho has created, I will say that it's one design I wish would come back in either a new movie or even as a cameo monster in the recent legendary Monsterverse. Sadly, it looks like we won't be seeing this monster come back anytime soon. I mentioned before that because of ABPT going bankrupt, a lot of the movie had to cut corners in terms of filming and production. The first of which is that unlike Godzilla or Rodan having distinctive roars, Varan's roar was a combination of Godzilla's and several other monsters that they used to combine into Varan's roar, which is kind of distracting when you see him attacking people and you can only hear the Godzilla roar coming out of him because of the bad audio dubbing. However, the biggest problem I have with this movie is the writing. The way the scientists discover Varan and how he starts attacking Tokyo is because they force Varan out of the mountains after they try to kill him when all the scientists had to do is just leave him alone and none of the events of the movie would be happening. I get that they had to make it so that the monster had a reason to start attacking the city, but at least in Godzilla and Rodan, they attack Tokyo because of forces outside of their control. Here, they just start bombing the hell out of Varan's home and then try to kill him when he's contained in one location. Sure, he does kill some researchers, but that's mostly due to Varan walking around and causing the rock slide that kills them by accident. Ugh. These scientists are like the equivalent of stupid frat boys who think it would be funny to start poking a sleeping bear. It sucks so much that this movie had to wind up the way it did, because I do think that Varan has the potential to be a much more memorable monster, but due to the many difficulties this movie had to go through, it winds up falling flat on its face. Poor writing, annoying characters, and a lack of destructive moments make this by far one of the worst monster movies made by Toho. And I've seen Godzilla's Revenge, which is still the worst Godzilla movie of all time, but man, I'd rather watch that than this. I give Varan the Unbelievable a 3 out of 10. It sucks that I have to give this movie such a low rating when it has so much potential, but hey, them's the breaks, kids. Thanks for watching, I'm Dr. Waluigi. Remember to have a happy Halloween, and to never judge a book by its cover, cause you'll never know what's inside. Good night, everyone.